They're jumping several metres into the air and several metres long with that iron horse underneath them, you know. So
and they're not just an iron horse, it's a weapon.
It's a weapon, yeah.
It is amazing. Craig Dack, he's a 4 times Mr. Motocross champion and the man behind CDR Yamaha. One of the longest running and most successful motocross teams in Australian history, with 51 national championships.
Something like that, yeah. It's hard. The sport's sort of morphed and changed over the 40 years that I've been involved. So we had a series called the Thumper Nats, which sort of overtook our motocross series there in popularity for a while.
Yep.
Then we had motocross, and we got supercross, and we had Supercross Masters. We had Mr. Motocross, which was the series in its time. So it's hard to know exactly how many championships, but it's floating between that 50 to 55 of championships.
That's a lot, isn't it?
That's just the race team.
How long have you been in it? Is it 98?
So, well, the race team has been running since 93, so 34 years or something like that.
Yep.
But I was a professional racer before that.
Yeah, okay. And so how long did you race before you started your own team?
I raced since I was a kid.
Yep.
But my professional era was probably from the time I left school, 16, to the time I retired, which was 28.
So you were a professional paid motocross racer?
Pretty much. It was me and another guy by the name of Jeff Leask. We were the first of the boy racers, the ones to leave school and straight away get a contract with a manufacturer and got paid to race. The era just before me, they were still working and racing, but a couple of them had retired from their normal job and became professional racers.
Yeah.
So, you know, my career sort of started, where it really started to take off was the early 80s, 83, 84.
Yeah.
And
as an industry?
As a professional racer.
Yeah.
And that's sort of when all sports started to morph into that professional side.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You know?
So it's like as in becoming an industry, more money on side, more sponsorships.
Yeah, same with the footy. You know, footy, they were still doing a tip garbage run in the mornings and go and do a bit of training.
Right. Well, they had an apprenticeship going at the same time.
$5 a game or something like that. Then all of a sudden the era of the Dermot Brereton's and all the glamour, and then the money come in and you know, boot manufacturers were sponsoring players with Nike boots and all that stuff.
Yeah. And so when did you hang up the boots as far as riding yourself, as in professional?
At the end of 92.
Yeah.
And I was 28 then. So that was pretty much the norm when professional racers kind of retired.
Yeah.
And now, like most sports, they're getting up to sort of mid 30s now before they retire. Depending on injury and motivation.
Yeah. So what would be contributing to that? Like, as in, you know, health options, I guess longevity, as in to keep people going to 35.
Well, just as I said, motivation is the main thing. If you can keep being motivated to put in the work, because motocross, as a lot of people don't know, was probably one of the most demanding sports physically. Yeah. Not only with injury, but physically demanding.
Yeah.
You know, the bike that they race weighs about 120 kilos.
Yeah. It's an iron horse. It's a weapon.
It's a weapon, yeah.
It is amazing.
Even to this day, I when I get to a track, we're heading up to Toowoomba in Queensland in the morning, to a really good track. It's called Echo Valley.
Yeah.
And it's in a valley. It's up and down the hill.
Yeah, nice.
It's a really good track, and when I get there and then they first go out and practice, for the first 10 minutes I'm still like going, God, I can't believe how fast these guys are going. And that's with all my experience.
Yeah.
So...
And all the technology in the bikes, you know, traction control, just the power in general, it's just next level.
Motocross is probably the most rawest form of motorsport. You know, you're still... I would say that, the equipment is important, of course, but... In motocross, you'd probably say it's 70 to 75%, 70% the rider.
Yeah, sure.
You know, where in MotoGP, you need to be a good rider, but it's more the bike. You know.
I get it. Yes, yeah, because the bikes are probably pretty level across the board.
They are.
Obviously, they're well maintained or not, but you know.
We don't have the issue of tyres going off and all that like they do on the road with cars or bikes.
Yeah.
You know, it's more man and machine motocross.
Yeah. And so you got into business, you started CDR, did you say 92, 98?
I retired at the end of 92 and
Yeah.
CDR started in end of 93. In 93.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that started off with how many riders?
Two.
Just
That's
two
traditional.
riders.
That's
Yeah.
traditional in motorsport.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
2 riders, and we've done other things over the past. Yamaha's contracted my company to help them with their off-road program from time to time. So I've been with Yamaha for over 40 years now. Not only as a domestic racer, a Grand Prix racer, I was a test rider for Yamaha in Japan for a period there.
Yeah, wow.
And we've done a lot of in the earlier days when our sport morphed from 2 strokes to 4 strokes.
Yep.
We were heavily involved in the development of those bikes in Japan.
Yep.
So there's a nice little backstory to what we do. The racing is part of it.
Are they going back to 2s at all, or
No,
because the enduro racing is still running the 2 strokes? I noticed.
There's still 2 strokes getting
Yeah.
made, and there's still classes, but
Yeah.
we focus on the main
four-
stuff.
Yeah, 450s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're much more dialed in, aren't they? You can sort of really dial them in as far as how it suits the rider.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
same with 2 strokes.
Can you?
I mean,
Okay.
that's all just the art of a good racing team.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
each rider has a mechanic.
Yep.
So they develop a team within the team. So
Yeah.
their mechanic rider is important.
And that relationship's tight.
A little tight relationship.
Yeah.
Then outside of that, you have suspension technicians and engine guys.
Yep.
So, the rider communicates with the engine guy, and then the rider communicates with the suspension guy, and it's all just like a little black art going on.
Yeah. It's pretty cool because I've seen your workshop and it is absolutely schmick.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a bolt out of place. It's clean as a whistle.
Yeah.
It's super cool to kind of see it. And even, the way you present your bikes for race day, that's, that obviously you've got it sorted out over many years of being in business. But is there anything you'd call bullshit about, about success as far as in your experience?
What do you mean by that?
Maybe, driven by ego, motivation. What would be the motivation to keep you going?
Oh, for me? Yeah. Look, I don't know. It's what I've done since a kid.
Yeah.
I was only talking to my mum not long ago, and she's just reminding me, we were reminiscing about something. She turned 80 and I stayed up there for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about stuff, and she said, she remembers me as a kid, the night before we went mini bike racing. I had all my gloves and my helmet and everything laid out at the front door, so I wouldn't,
Yeah.
I used to have nightmares that I turned up to a race without my
Yeah,
helmet.
boots.
Yeah. So that was probably the driving force, the
Yeah.
nightmares. But so that has, and I still, when my mum said that, I still, like tonight, I'm going to get up at 3:30 in the morning and go to Queensland.
Yeah.
Tonight I know what I'll do. I'll get all my clothes and I'll have my Saturday shirt, my Sunday shirt,
right.
just like I did with the kids. So it's just been part of my life.
Yes.
And I don't know what life looks like without it.
Sure. Yeah. But I think, like you said before, like motocross is a raw sport. So to have the balls to get out there and hit the jumps or go faster than the next guy, it takes something. And I think even like you look at how I guess the evolution of the sport, backflips, triple backflips, are they doing now? In the freestyle side of things. When I was a kid, there was no such thing as a backflip. No one was doing
There was
that.
a front flip.
Was there? Yeah, there you go. So, but
No,
that
crashing.
yeah, over the head.
Yeah.
But that takes such courage. So you obviously had something inside you feeding, that was, to give you the balls to get out there.
See,
and
the
hit it hard.
freestyle thing, I can't relate to that at all.
No.
And it doesn't. I like it. I respect. I think the skill and them doing that and all that. But it has no interest. I would have had no drive to do anything like that. It's more the competition for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I do remember being as a kid, playing cricket in the front yard or climbing a tree. I had to get to the highest on anybody could in climbing a tree. Or we would go down the river in Sydney, which was the Nepean River.
Yeah.
And we used to find bridges and things and trees to jump out into the river. You know?
So
I always had that kind of
that edge.
push it as far as you can.
Yeah. That's so funny because I'm the opposite.
Oh yeah.
I've always ridden dirt bikes, snowboarding, even around track days at Phillip Island. but I'll go as fast as I can to have fun without crashing.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's what you do.
so
I was the same.
but I'm like, oh, you want to win? No dramas, take it.
Yeah, I just remember in a race, I still have the feeling, of all those years ago. I haven't raced for 30 years.
Yeah.
But, I was very successful in that period, fortunately. I was lucky enough to be successful. But I still have the feeling, like I knew when I got into a position in a race, whether it was a 30-minute moto or 40-minute, if I got into a position, even if it was in 5th place or whatever, once I got my rhythm going, I just had this thing in my stomach. I just knew I was going to wear them down.
Really?
I just knew that I was going to win the race.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that was a nice period. It's fairly hard in life to actually get in a position that like you can sit there with 40 other guys either side of you, and you look up and down and you actually go, I'm going to smack them today. It's such a nice feeling, and you don't have it for very long because you might sit there and go, I'm going to smack these, but it's your head saying it, not your gut.
Yeah.
But when you can sit there and have that feeling that I'm all over these guys today, pretty good feeling. It's quite addictive.
It is and I mean the fact that you can control your mindset to be positive at that point, rather than intimidated.
I think it's more of a feeling.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
And
so
bypasses your mental position. It's just it's an overall feeling within you.
Yeah. That's a great thing to have, and that that courage that comes from that is amazing. But do you think, obviously in these extreme sports, there's obviously dedication and like we spoke about courage. But do you think that, in a general sense, in society now, we're kind of, I don't know, like a little bit.
Woke?
Woke's one, we're definitely that. But I was going to say weak or weaker. Maybe there's two extremes. Maybe there's, the gusto on this side, and then there's people that just, it's too hard, all too hard.
Yeah, well, look...
Like, I'm going to give up too early.
Yes, but you still have the special ones still rise to the top.
Yeah.
That's always there.
Yeah, of course.
That's sort of it. And how that's morphed or changed over the years, I don't know. But I do know one of the things, and I don't even know if they still do it now, I hope they don't. One of the things that they brought in recent years is this, at school carnivals or running races now, everybody gets a prize. There's no first, second and third,
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with someone getting first, second and third? Because when those kids leave school, they may not go into sport, but they might go into a business where they have to tender for something.
Correct.
And they're not going to get it.
And
so they have to understand that they lost.
It's such an important factor, isn't it? It's not, I feel we're not necessarily teaching resilience, which is exactly that. If we give a participation medal, great, you showed up, you showed some effort, but you didn't necessarily win. You said something to me once before about winning and then the second or something.
The first loser?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Second is the first loser?
Yeah, that's it. But for instance, in, say, real estate, if you don't get the job, you don't get paid. So it's not, participation. Congratulations.
Yeah, I know.
It's not feeding the family.
And it teaches you how to lose. It teaches you how to win. And when kids are young like that, and teachers should tell first and second, third the values of winning and losing and how that all works after the fact.
Yes. Yeah.
What's the saying? Gracious in victory and humble in defeat, or humble in victory and gracious in defeat. I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it is a bit like that. Winning's the easy bit, as far as I remember, but not winning is the hard bit. You need to figure out a way to deal with that.
Yeah. Okay. And winning and losing graciously.
Yeah.
From our chats in the past, and from looking at your history, it looked like. I mean, would I be correct in saying you dominated a fair bit in the industry? And there was one other guy you said was quite competitive with you. There was shifts in motors and stuff like that to make the sport more competitive.
Yeah, there was Glenn Bell, he was my era, and that was kind of the promoters used to like to promote a rivalry. You know? But it was awesome. I think my period where I was kind of winning most stuff was from 86 to 92. So as you can see, you have a long journey in the industry, but it only narrows down you really only hit the money time in a short period.
Sure, yeah.
That's what I try to say to my riders now, just you spend all that time going to mini bike clubs and developing your skills to get to that little professional part, which might only be
window.
6 or 8 years.
Yeah. It's pretty brutal. I mean, in sport I noticed, like what we talked about just then, as in the participation, but in sport, let's say for instance I wasn't performing at work, I'm working for whatever, Coles, it's very hard for them to move me on, make me redundant or fire me, manage me out. But in sport, let's say, I'm playing for the Geelong Cats or whatever, and the coach is not happy, benched and moved on. In sport it's pretty brutal, so that window, you have to perform or you're out.
Yes, you're right, it is brutal, but it's still not as brutal as it used to be.
Is it?
Okay. And one of the interesting things for me, in the last 34 years I've run the team, I've had the same age male boy, young man, come through our team. So because I get them when they're in their 19s, 20 to about 28, that period.
Okay. Yeah.
And then by then another lot come through, so I get the same age.
Yeah,
so I've seen how much it's changed over that time.
That's fascinating.
You can't do the old footy coach talk and grab them by the jumper and they cry.
Initiation. Well, what do you reckon like social media does for those boys that are coming through as a professional?
I don't know where that really sits in there. That seems to be a little thing they like to do, and it's good for their notoriety and stuff. However, it is starting to play a role in our negotiations with partners and sponsors that we have to kind of leverage off all their social accounts.
Really?
To try and get the exposure out there. So
do you manage their social accounts when they come
No, they do it personally, but we tie into their contract what we want them to do.
Yeah, so it's governed in some way. Yeah, it makes sense. And I mean, look, I've met the boys a few times on different occasions, and they seem to just be such top dudes. Like,
it's a great little sport. It's a cottage industry, but quite a powerful cottage industry. The motorcycle. We're a factory race team. We don't in Australia. You don't have supercars now. They used to have factory race teams when it was Holden and Ford.
Yeah.
But they're not factory race teams anymore. They're just Ford and GM are just throwing money into those teams, and they're all basically private teams. Where our team, we're Yamaha Australia's a factory, official factory team.
Yeah.
So being associated with a manufacturer is a big responsibility. Like a brand like Yamaha.
Yeah.
And our title sponsor, Monster Energy, they're a multi-billion-dollar global company.
Yeah.
So I'm managing big corporations' image. So you have to be very careful. But fortunately, I guess going back to social media, they do know now how easy and how quickly you can get tripped up by doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But a good thing about our sport, we're just getting to it's a real. They're all professional athletes. We'll go up to Brisbane in the morning. We're on a 6 a.m. flight, so up at 4 a.m.
Yep.
And then we'll work all weekend. Get on a flight 7 o'clock Sunday night. Be back home here at midnight. No beers, no partying.
Yeah.
It's just quite a
structured and
professional setup.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the setup, and it's so impressive. Every tarp that you've got gets washed. Every new tyres for the race day. Every single. I remember I made a joke one night. There's a little bit of dirty. No, there's not. Yeah. And there's not.
Don't worry. We stand there. The bikes come back from a race and they're ruined, right? They look like they should go in the bin, right? And then by the end of that week or 2 weeks later, they look like a brand new bike again.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
And I remember one of my next door neighbours, Hans, who sadly passed recently.
Okay. Yeah.
He was didn't know much about the sport, and we used to talk over the fence, and he was sort of not a greenie, but kind of,
Yeah.
earthy guy.
Yes, yeah.
And so we had a really good balance. I really liked our relationship. And I said to him, Hans, I said, you would hate me, really. I said, why? He goes, well, he knew what I did for a job. I said, we get new stuff and we put all this new stuff on bikes.
Yeah.
And we go and ruin it on the weekend and throw it all away and do it all again. We're such consumers, you know.
Yeah.
And he goes, and I thought he'd be going, oh yeah, you're right. It's pretty shit, really. And he goes, yeah, but how many smiles are you putting on people's faces?
Absolutely.
I went, how good was that? I never looked at it like that before.
Yeah.
And not only the team, but you know, we go to Marvel Stadium. There's 30,000 people there.
I think 40 last time.
Yeah.
Massive.
So we're putting a smile on all those people's faces. So
yeah. But not only that, I remember another thing you once said to me: you don't work a day. You don't work because it's a passion. And your team seem like they're exactly the same.
Oh yeah.
They love it.
Oh yeah. You imagine those mechanics. You know, they started off being mechanics in bike shops, working on dirty old quad bikes that the farmers have been riding through cow shit for the last...
It hasn't been gurney once.
And they come to this.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So,
and there's parts available.
Yeah, it's all indent, it's all sitting there.
Yeah. It's schmick.
Yeah, it
is. With the going to your business side of things, so I find it, because it's fascinating that you are successful in that sport, a passion of yours, but also very successful in the team itself. So the business side of things.
It's you have to keep evolving with the business, and it's only an extension to my success as a racer.
Sure.
It's like I try and teach my riders now. So being fast, there's an old saying that the fastest guy doesn't always win. But being fast is a really good thing to have.
Yeah.
But in a race, there's so many factors that you have to manage along the way.
Sure.
And you've got rocks hitting you, you know, that hurt. So you have to manage where you sit in a position that, you know, you're not getting smashed by rocks. And you have to work out your opposition, watch their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
You know, and target their weaknesses. And you have to develop relationships with your mechanic, so you get your bike good.
Yeah, dialed in.
So all that I learnt from racing, and I just applied it into business.
Yeah.
And but the most important thing, and in the race, sometimes in business, you just sit there and, you know, just be cool for a while. But at some point, like in the race, you have to get your head down and have a go. Yeah. You know, that's like when you're negotiating. Okay,
sure.
We have to have a go now.
Yeah.
Then after that, you maintain and manage that relationship.
Yeah.
And the business part of it is the biggest thing that I've learned over time. The most important thing is relationships.
Yeah.
In business, you know.
Yep.
Under promise and over deliver. Mm-hmm. Do what you say. Don't say something and don't do it. To me, that's a real no-no.
Yeah.
So just a few little key things principles that I follow, and it seems to be working to this point.
Integrity as well, and I think you come from a really good and honest place.
You have to.
Yeah, but I don't think everyone does.
No, I don't think they do. But
you know, you might make it short term, and I think that's probably where your longevity comes from. Is that?
And it's not all about the bucks.
No,
money's important. It's not all about the money. You know, you've got to make money.
Yeah.
But it's not all about that. We've had Fox Clothing, for instance. They've been in our team since I raced. A sponsor of mine, I carried it over on the team, so I've had them for 35, 40 years.
Yeah, wow.
That's amazing.
That's a relationship, yeah.
And, but that relationship isn't with Fox, because over that time, people come and go.
Okay,
So the relationship comes from the people or the person within those companies.
Yeah.
You know?
And maintaining them.
And maintaining
new ones. And,
yeah.
Evolution as well, because things would have changed in that time.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
So it's just relationship.
Yeah.
Developing the relationships.
Yeah. So that passion that you've got, because let's say you're at a race day, you're not just there as the boss, Craig Dack. You're there on the start line, headphones in, talking to the racers, talking to the mechanics. That comes from a place of. That comes from a place of desire as well.
Well, that's the fun bit.
Yeah, that's where it's not work.
That's where I sit in my office. That's what's so unique about my job and so unbelievable. After I finish this, I'll go back and I've got a bunch of things I have to do in the office.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I'll hop on the plane and go to a racetrack, and that's when I'm in my element. All that other bullshit, you know, you can leave behind.
It's race day.
It's race day. That's right. And I'm usually one of the. I'm still when the trucks turn up at the race, and I don't know what people think. I'm still usually one of the first people at the track.
Really? Yeah. Right.
Literally. Yeah. One of the first. Mm.
Yeah. And well, that's a good question, because winning day or losing day, is it the same day for you?
In what sense?
You know, like if the team doesn't do well on that day, you hate it.
I've learned. I hate it.
No, I love it. Yeah.
It's just
we talk about integrity.
Well, it's just a nicer feeling when you win.
Of course.
Because that's what you're chasing all the time.
Yeah.
That wonderful feeling, you know, like you walk. When your rider wins, it's just such a proud moment. You drive to the airport and you pack down, everything's easy.
Everyone's
when you lose, it's hard packing up, and there's a long way to the airport.
Moping about.
We're not that bad.
No, but
we've learned to manage.
It's a motivator. Yeah. So where do you reckon, like, motivation compared to discipline kicks in, as in?
Motivation and discipline. Well, you've got to be disciplined, and well, they sort of almost go hand in glove, don't they? But I do remember that when I was racing, I used to like to do all my training and most of my stuff on my own, because I had that personal drive. So if I say, hey,